But when I had her, I thought everything I was feeling was normal. It's not normal to want to like scrub your body with super hot water when you get home from the store.
One of Easter has a weird smell. Have you ever noticed that?
It does. It does.
I think
because as an adult, it's hard to make friends and force yourself to show up and say, okay, I've got to actually, start the conversation. If I'm not your cup of tea, I want you to find your community of moms that's going to help get you out of the house.
Baylee, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you start by telling me about Mom Chats?
Okay. Well, I started this when I think like 10 months postpartum.
Okay.
Originally, we were just a walking group. We went by a different name. We would meet twice a month, go for a walk. Well, my daughter got older and hated the stroller.
Classic.
Yes, pure torture getting her to sit still for the full time. I was bringing the whole pantry.
Yeah.
Like, here's a snack, please stay seated. So we transitioned to more play dates, mom's night outs. So I call them events now. But we meet 2 times a month, once during the week and then once on the weekends, and just hang out and let our kids play.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so was your postpartum journey, I guess, kind of the inspiration for starting that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had my daughter 2.5 weeks before my best friend Lexi. She had a daughter too. And so we really leaned on each other during the postpartum period, texting at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
These kids won't sleep. We're so exhausted.
I'm up too.
Yes. So we would have full paragraph texts in the middle of the night, and I just kept thinking, like, I wish there was something like this, because I know there's so many moms that don't have it.
Yeah.
I have struggled really bad with postpartum anxiety and OCD. And I am a certified yapper, so I need to talk.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to get out of the house and make friends. So that's kind of what pushed me to start it. And I came across a TikTok of a group that was started in California.
Cool.
I was like, we need that here.
Yeah. So are you from, I don't know if from is the right word, but did you grow up in Chattanooga?
I grew up in Chattanooga, but I was born in Nashville.
Okay.
So spent the first 5 years of my life there, but grew up the rest of the time in Chattanooga.
Okay. It's so amazing. I had my oldest daughter in 2018, and we had just moved here, and I didn't know anybody. We moved here when I was pregnant, and so I really struggled. And looking back in hindsight, it was definitely like postpartum anxiety, postpartum anger, things that they don't even tell you about postpartum.
Yes.
They always say it's depression, but I feel like sadness isn't necessarily a big symptom for a lot of people. And so I wish that they had that, because I feel like I was just stuck in this rut of staying home and like sticking to our schedule, and I needed to talk to people, but I feel like I forgot how to talk to adults because I'm stuck at home talking to a baby all day.
Yes, and then you get stopped mid-conversation, especially with a toddler now.
Yes.
So it's nice to be around other women who know you're going to get asked for a snack about 15 times during the conversation, and they're not going to judge you.
Because someone's asking them for a snack too.
Yeah, same thing. So it's nice to get out and be around women who are in the same stage of life and see kind of how they're handling, and then also be able to bounce ideas off of each other. Mm-hmm. That's what Lexi and I ran into. Lila's older, so she would hit a sleep regression first.
Oh, okay.
And so then she's like, okay, I'm gearing up. Like, I know in about 2.5 weeks, we're going to be in the same stage. So it's nice to have that support.
Yeah, for sure. Had you started any events? I know you did the walk before you did the events. Had you ever done events prior to starting this?
No. I just love people, and I love being around, large groups. So I was in a sorority in college, so I was around, a large group of women.
Yeah.
And I kind of thrive in that situation. So I had never started it. It was kind of, trial run. When you first begin something, to figure out how all the components work, but
for sure,
it's been fun.
Okay. And then as far as all the events that you've done, what's been your favorite that you've done?
Oh my gosh, that's hard.
I know you've done a lot.
Yes, I think as of now, my most favorite recent one was the Valentine's event. That
was a good one.
Yeah, that was amazing. It's just fun because we work with local businesses on different levels to get to meet so many businesses I didn't even know existed in Chattanooga, and get to showcase what they're all about. And they're
just trying, I reached out to you because it's a brilliant idea, because they're just trying to kind of grow, especially the smaller businesses.
Yes.
And so they're wanting the exposure. And then I really enjoy the networking side of things too, and meeting other moms. And so it's so great to have that where they can come showcase what they have to offer if people are interested in it, but then also help with donations for events because it can be expensive when you're doing all of that on your own.
Yeah. So I do this fully as a volunteer just for fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so, it gives me a creative outlet. I worked before my daughter was born.
Okay.
And
where at?
At UNM. I was in short-term disability and FMLA. So I trained people on Zoom 8 hours a day. So I got to talk.
It's training.
It is. But I talked all day long. So it gives me an outlet to meet, new moms and then also the businesses and give them the opportunity to maybe advertise on a lower, it's free, but a lower cost if they wanted to donate something instead of having to pay influencer fees.
For sure. And some of them had things that I saw that they're vendors too, so they're selling certain things. Like me specifically, I'm kind of there and I provided something because it's like free advertising, which is really, really nice. And it's kind of like the audience that is kind of like my avatar is just moms, kind of people who were like me when I started in real estate. So
I think it's a good mix of vendor pop-ups, and then also we've got certain like niche businesses like you guys where you still want to be in front of the community, but it gives you an opportunity to say, hey, here I am. And then you always bring the best stuff too.
Yeah,
all the moms love it.
I love doing the goodie bags. For the moms though, because there's all this stuff for the kids, and I'm like, well, the moms need something
I know.
too. So.
My chapstick is always in my car. It's daily use.
I need to think of I think I might do face masks or something in the next one. Okay, so you mentioned a daughter. Tell me about your family and about your daughter.
Okay.
The inspiration.
Yes, I've been with my husband. We have been married since 2020, but we've been together for 10 years this year.
Wow.
Yes. So we started dating when I was 19 in college.
Okay.
Had the biggest crush on him though in middle school.
Oh, so you've known him a long time.
A long time, yeah. He played football. And I thought, like, goo-goo eyes over him. But he had no idea who I was, like, not cool enough to be on that level. And then we reconnected. He actually slid in my DMs. Very modern romance.
Okay, yes.
And we hit it off, and we've been together since. So lots of traveling, and then we got married in the height of COVID.
Okay.
Had to move our wedding, and then we had our daughter in 2021.
Okay, so kind of a COVID baby, tail end.
Yes, tail end. It was still like a little precaution at the hospital, but you could still he could be in the delivery room, thankfully.
Yeah,
so
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a COVID baby, so my entire pregnancy my second daughter was COVID. Like I found out the week the world shut down that I was pregnant.
Oh
so my entire pregnancy was just all COVID, and even her birth. My husband could be in the delivery room. We couldn't have anyone else. And I don't think it was as strict as other states. But those events too, I feel like COVID pushed everybody kind of to stay in their houses even more. And then I would bet there was an increase in like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, but people weren't sure, should I leave? Like that adds a whole nother level of anxiety, and having a newborn, especially your first, that you're like, I don't want them to get sick or have them around anything. So I feel like that's just such a great commodity for the community.
Yes, that's part of the reason that I really needed it. I think my postpartum with my daughter is Lila. I didn't say her name. Lila, and my husband's Colton, but
and she's 3?
She's 3.
Okay.
She's so funny.
Three-nager.
Yes, she is hilarious. It's like they say the funniest things.
Oh, they do.
They don't even realize that they're as funny as they are. But when I had her, I thought everything I was feeling was normal. Mm-hmm. It's not normal to want to like scrub your body with super hot water when you get home from the store.
Yeah.
Because you have to stay home and you're so terrified of them catching whatever it is, and COVID was so scary. So I think that was part of the reason that I pushed to make myself get out of the house.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have another winter baby though, if it was up to my timeline, just because of...
Is she December, November?
She is. She's a New Year's Eve baby.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So she came literally 10 hours before the year was done.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. So, but I feel like postpartum during the winter time was hard for me because
for sure.
all the sickness is going around.
And you're just stuck inside. You're worried about the flu with a newborn RSV.
All of that.
And I think COVID kind of amplified people's fear of sickness too.
Yes.
And then everybody stayed inside. And now I feel like everybody's getting sick because everybody's, socializing again.
Yes.
So this season's been rough for sure.
Yes, us too.
Yeah, I think across the board, everybody's feeling that.
I know.
But we have to get back to some sort of level of normalcy and build our immune systems.
Around.
Yeah.
viruses again.
Yes.
As unfortunate as it is.
It's terrible, but you'll get through it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many people do you typically have at your events? I know you do different ones where it's the walks, and then you have the bigger ones like the Valentine's Day. How many people do you typically have at these events?
So if it's a regular size event, we're meeting at a playground or going for a walk or something of that nature, we have between 17 and 30.
Okay.
Our big events, though.
Oh my God, the Valentine's Day one was awesome.
Yeah, there was over 100 moms at that one.
That's crazy.
The biggest one that I've done I had 115 cars in my yard because I hosted at my house.
Oh my gosh.
So
do you have acreage?
Yes, we live on 2.5 acres. We have a big front yard, so my husband takes off work and parks everyone like
the valet.
Yeah, like a valet, like the
cute.
like at a concert. So he files everybody in, and I've actually met a neighbor. And she was like, I always wondered what was going on at your house. It's like just a lot of moms hanging out and letting their kids run wild in my backyard.
So it's just specifically just a mom meetup at your house?
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
115 cars. That's nice.
That's crazy. A bounce house brings them out.
Yeah.
Every time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when you started, did you struggle getting people to come to your events? Or what did you do as far as, I guess, marketing to get people to come? Because one thing I've run into in the past was getting consistent people to come, but you have such a following that I feel like it's just exploded, especially from the events that I've been to. It's really cool because a lot of small businesses I know will do events and it's not as many people show up. So I guess what's your secret?
Oh my gosh. Well, in the beginning, I think my first one I had 11 or 12 moms, which I was really shocked that many showed up.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yes, it was. And so in the beginning, it's been a lot of trial and error with how I market. So I've had to kind of streamline what my posts look like. So that way, if you're scrolling through your Instagram feed, you know, I'm going to stop on this because this looks like a Mom Chats post.
Yeah.
And then I also post recap reels, which I really feel like has made the biggest difference in people coming, because it gives you a taste of what the event looks like and the joy behind it when you see the kids running and the moms chatting. It makes it less intimidating because as an adult, it's hard to make friends and force yourself to show up and say, okay, I've got to actually, start the conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that gives more of the feel of what the events looks like and makes it easier to show up because you kind of have an idea of what you're going to get when you walk through the door.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like having a baby too, like you go to an event and the babies don't really do much when they're really little. They just kind of sit there. And so, when I moved here and was pregnant, I was like, how do you make friends pregnant? Because none of my friends back in Colorado had kids yet. And I was like, I don't want to just go hang out with a bunch of moms pregnant. So, that's cool. How are you going to register it as like an LLC, or what's the hope, I guess, with the future of Mom Chats?
I've kind of toyed with the idea of an LLC a lot recently, and been researching and talking to my assistant, ChatGPT, about how to go.
Love ChatGPT.
Yes, my personal assistant. Trying to figure out what to do as it grows. Eventually, I would like to homeschool, but eventually I know my daughter will be in school. So I think it would be fun long term if I'm looking at in the future. I think it would be cool to have just family style events on the weekends and still organize big events with bounce houses and vendors. But I think in the short term, I would like to look into LLC, making it more of a business. Yeah. To kind of help fund the things that I do.
Yeah, for sure. What challenges have you run into with the event? Are there any challenges that you've kind of had to overcome with hosting so many events?
Just finding the balance of it. I typically work 15 to 20 hours a week on just like Mom Chats related stuff.
Okay, so not at UNM, you're done.
No, I'm done at UNM. I work for a party planning company on the weekends, Birdie & Co. They're super cute.
Oh, cool. Yes, they are.
They did part of the Valentine's event. They did all the decor. So I work with them, and then I also work for my father-in-law 1 day a week in Cambridge Square with construction stuff. So balancing that, being a mom, and then still planning the Mom Chats events. Because I look in the future, so I'm already planning stuff for the end of May right now. So getting all of the components together and streamlining it to where I'm not on my phone constantly.
For sure.
Making posts and talking to vendors and all of that.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite venue that you use?
Oh my gosh.
Or park that you guys go to?
Okay, for favorite park, I love Imagination Station.
It's good. They just redid it, didn't they?
Yes, I'm still waiting on the big side to open back up. I've been like, every day I drive by, I'm like, are you open yet? Because they opened the new side. I love it though. The parking's great. The majority of our moms live in the Ooltewah, East Brainerd kind of area.
Okay, we have side.
Yeah, we have some in Hickson and then some in Red Bank, but not as many. So it's a good central location. If I'm gonna have 30 moms, that's typically where we'll end up there, or Little Debbie.
Yeah. Little Debbie is cool. There's not as much to do equipment wise, and they even had this like, maybe they'll put it back, they had like a cool
zip line.
Yes, and now it's gone. I went there with my daughters and they were not impressed with
I know.
the park.
It
was really busy though.
Trying to keep them occupied, especially the age that comes to our events, keeping them occupied. There's not swings for them. And little
typically
structures.
The age is like, would you say 1 to 3?
I think 5 and under.
Okay.
We have a few 5-year-olds that will come, but typically in that age group. We've had some older children come too, and I love when they're out of school and want to come hang out, but usually pretty young.
Yeah, that's kind of what I noticed. My kids I have a 1-year-old, but they're all in school, so they didn't come. Also, it was just easier not to bring them. Even if they could have come, I probably wouldn't have brought them. Okay, so what would be your favorite big event? Big event venue.
I think Hidden Springs was amazing.
Yeah.
It's close to my house, which is a plus. It's like 5 minutes away. So setting
it's a beautiful area.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. So setting up prior to was nice because I could just pop over and check on everybody.
Yeah.
But the space is great and parking is good because when you have that many, for that style event, when I have 100 moms, it is difficult to find parking.
Yeah. Even downtown, you couldn't find that very easily. You'd have to go further out.
Yeah, it's difficult. And they also were looking to market birthday parties, baby showers for themselves too. So
it was a beautiful space.
Yes, perfect mashup because there's just not a ton of spaces for that style event in Chattanooga.
Yeah, no, not really. Do you have any organization things that you use to help keep you, everything together while you're planning these events?
Yes. So I use Google Docs a lot.
Okay.
So I try to keep track of potential vendors, sponsors that have reached out to me. So easy for people to get lost in your DMs.
Yes.
So I try to keep track of that when I've talked to everyone. I'm a planner girly, but paper, I can't use my phone.
Okay.
I have to see it in front of my eyeballs.
Yeah, there's something about putting the pen to paper that helps you remember, I feel like, or at least come back to it,
And then I've streamlined all of my posts too, because I used to try to be creative every single month and change the background and make it cutesy, which was fun, but it's very time consuming on Canva to do. So I have the same post every single month and I just am changing.
So just the templates that you use,
yes,
Canva's amazing.
It is, especially because you can make the folder and everything's in the same spot.
Cool. And then do you have anybody who helps you with all of that, or you're doing it yourself? You don't have an assistant or anything?
No, it's just me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun.
I bet. Okay, well, what advice do you have for somebody looking to start either an event planning business or just a business that has to do with children and mom events? Do you have advice for any?
Just don't get discouraged. There is waves of people attending and not attending based on the time of year.
Yeah.
So just show up every time. My biggest thing that I've told myself throughout, I guess it's going on 3 years now, of hosting these is at the end of the day, if me and Lila get out of the house, then that's what's the most important.
Yeah.
We left the house, we did something fun. If people show up, great. But if not, we went to the playground.
Yeah.
Or we did.
She had a good time.
She had a great time, which makes it worth it. So not get discouraged about attendees because they'll come. And fit it to your own schedule too. If you're planning events, it's hard to make everybody happy because when my child naps versus when your child naps is going to be totally different.
Yeah.
So fit your schedule and just have fun.
Yeah, I like that. What upcoming events do you have for Mom Shots?
So in May, we're going to do a mom's night out at Zen Nail Spa in Cambridge Square.
Okay.
Still getting all of the details together, but it's going to be a weeknight later, so that way the kids can be with their
in
other
bed,
parent,
hopefully.
whoever. So it'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. and we're hoping to get some other people to come on. But we're going to do pedicures all together and hang out for a few hours.
Fun.
I typically, in years past, have done big mom events where the kids come, which is a lot of fun. We love having them run around and go crazy and be worn out. But I really want to focus on the mom this year and let them get some R&R.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I've done mom and kid events, because when we first started our moms and business events with my business partner, Rye, we did mom and kid events, and we couldn't talk to anybody because we were trying to network our businesses. So it was for small business owning moms. And so when my kids would come, one would go this way and one would go that way. And I'd be like, I don't even know where to go or who to talk to. And so then we went to just mom events. So I understand that.
Yes.
The moms need a little bit of joy too.
And it's easier to connect, like you said, when your kids, I mean, we love them and they can make little friends too, but to be able to have a full start to finish conversation with somebody and really get to know who they are, what they enjoy to do. I think any mom's night out events that I've had, the most connection has from those.
Yeah.
Or comes from those where, they're exchanging phone numbers, following on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're seeing them consistently at the events, but you don't necessarily get all the conversation with the kids around. So interrupting you for snacks.
Yeah. Or they're going to jump off the play structure or whatever.
They're going to break your leg.
Yes.
I remember my question. Okay, so has your daughter or you formed any I know you started with a friend, but have you built any connections?
Yes.
Okay, I figured.
We have, we've adopted a few. So my friend Emily, her son Theo, we adopted her. She started coming in January, not this year. I think we've been friends for 2 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, but I can feel people's energy when I first meet them.
Yeah.
When I first met her, I was like, I'm going to keep you.
Aww,
yes, so we hang out all the time, and then we just adopted another one.
Okay.
Her name's Nadine, and she has Stetson and a daughter named Letta. Emily has a new daughter named Lucy, too, but she was another one that she came to a splash pad event, and I was like, you're really cool.
Yeah.
I like you.
Yeah.
Which I love all the moms who attend, but I can always kind of feel out who I'm going to click with. So we have weekly play dates, and my daughter's not in school. She stays home with me.
Yeah.
So it's been really good socialization for her.
For sure.
You wouldn't think that she'd never been around other kids. She's a social butterfly.
Yeah, well, she's going to these events with tons of other kids.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, which you mentioned, you have busier season. So, I mean, I'm assuming it's when it's warm outside and you do the walks and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so what like drop do you have typically in the winter? Is it like half the moms typically come?
Yes, it just really depends on what we're doing too. This year in the wintertime, I mainly did indoor style events because in years past I was like, well, we'll still go to the playground. It's too cold. The kids are miserable. So this year wasn't as bad of a drop. We actually hosted one at Brothers Bagel.
Fun.
We had like 40 moms show up. I was
you guys
shocked.
Probably slammed the place with business. It's not that big in there.
No, but the kids loved it because they have the play corner. So they went crazy and we got to hang out. So that was really successful. And then when it's super hot outside, we have a little bit of a dip off too. Because unless we do water events, if it's Coolidge Park or Pioneer Frontier has a splash pad in East Ridge, the kids love that one.
Yeah.
So try to do stuff.
Yeah, I like the Coolidge one a little bit. The one in East Ridge has a weird smell. Have you ever noticed that?
It does. It does.
I think it's just the water.
Yes, high chlorine it feels like.
Yeah.
So I can feel out, now that I've been in it for almost 3 years, kind of have the idea of when it will drop off and have tried to tweak kind of what we're doing to help fix that.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned May events. Do you have any big upcoming summer plans for Mom Chats? Is it TBD?
TBD. I have some ideas. I would love to do a family movie night where toddlers can actually show up.
Yeah.
They always host them. I'm like, I want to go take her to see this movie, and they start at 9 p.m.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, girl,
no way. Absolutely not. I'm in bed.
Yeah. I'm like reading my Kindle at that time.
Yeah.
So I would really love to have one early for kids and do a family style event to get the dads out too.
Yeah.
And make friends. And probably some water stuff.
Yeah.
TBD. I like to toss up the ideas in my head. I would love to do a fire station tour. That's on my list for spring and summer too. So.
Yeah. And you guys just started Dad Chats.
Yes.
I love the name.
Yes.
Of both. So how has that been going?
It's been good. So that's my brother-in-law.
Okay.
My husband, he can be social when he's in person, but running something like that is his worst nightmare. So
I feel like it'd be odd that two people found each other and had that exact same personality trait.
Yes. So my brother-in-law is very outgoing, loves talking to people, and
this is your sister's husband or your brother's?
My sister's
husband's brother. Okay.
Yeah. My husband's an only child, so I've got all the million siblings.
Yeah.
And so he started it, and they've had 2 events so far. They got sick in February, so they couldn't host one. But he's just doing one time on the weekends to get the dads out of the house. And we coordinate it so that way the moms can sleep in on the days.
That's amazing.
Yeah, send the dads and the kids. we can sleep in and rot on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, take him. Go.
Yes, please.
Bring him back for nap time.
Yeah. So he's really enjoyed it so far. There was quite a few dads. We had a family event this past weekend that he got to meet that I think will come back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool crossover. Yeah, my husband would never. I don't even know if he'd go to something like that. I mean, probably not now. Maybe when we just had our first daughter. Yeah. But yeah, he's gotten less social as he's gotten older.
Yeah. I feel like it's hard to get them out. That's why, so I was very adamant, like, we need to do family style. Because if you can get them there, and they're like, hey, my wife made me come.
Yeah.
My wife made me come.
Yeah, you can talk trash about us while we sleep in.
I fully support. So
I would too. Yes.
Give me a break.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cute. I love it. If you could go back and give yourself advice on kind of starting your business, and I know it's not registered as a business, but you have such a following, and I feel like it's set up as a business so much, so I would call it a business.
Yeah.
But if you could go back at, let's say, 5-7 years before you had your daughter and before you started this company, what advice would you give yourself?
To do it.
Okay.
I teetered on it for so long. It kept popping up on my For You page, and this girl was hosting walks, and I was like, that's so cool. I was like, no. Would people even come?
Yeah.
Like, which it's not even about that. But I was like, my sister would come. I know she'll show up.
Yeah.
But she didn't have kids yet. So would people come? And so I doubted myself for so long on starting it. And then finally I filled out their like form to help you get started. And
cool.
They reached back out, and I'm glad that I did it, but I wish I would have thought or pushed myself to do it sooner and not wait.
Yeah, so did they help you when you did that? Did they kind of help you get it set up?
Yeah, so they encouraged us. The girl who runs it is an influencer, so she's well-versed in social media.
Okay.
So she kind of gave us an outline of you should start an Instagram page, you should show what your events look like, and kind of gave the like outline for the best way to go about it.
Yeah. And do you still talk to her about it, or not anymore?
No, not anymore. We've kind of cut ties, but I'm very thankful for everything that she helped.
Cool.
Get started. It pushed me out of my comfort zone with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's good. And it's so important. I don't know, just even seeing the moms connecting and exchanging numbers, I'm sure that's like a heartfelt feeling. Because even at the Valentine's Day event, there were a ton of people there. Yes. So I'm like, how are you? It's like a wedding. I was like, how are you even talking to each person for more than like a matter of seconds, plus chasing your daughter around and then talking with the vendors and everybody? I can't imagine. I'm sure it was just mayhem.
I black out. Every event I do. Okay. I say it ends and I'm like, okay.
You're like, what just happened?
What happened? Yeah. It feels like a wedding for real.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. But it was like very heartwarming seeing the moms and just talking to some moms and getting to hear their stories and seeing their kids and just all the different components and elements that like it had the bounce house and it had the coffee, which by the way, that coffee cart, the perfectly poured, I tried to hire them for my event I'm doing and they're booked.
I love it. It's Addison and Danielle.
Yeah.
They are
that peach drink that they had. Oh my God, it was so amazing.
It's to write home about. It's so good.
It was so good.
Yes.
But all the components and just seeing the kids and everything, it was sweet to see. And like I said, I really wish they had that when I had my first daughter, because if they did have that here, it was not marketed. And I really struggled until I went back to work because I needed that adult interaction. Yes. And so I feel like, they don't prepare you for what you're going to feel when you have your first baby. And I thought it's going to be just like a dream. And she was super colicky. And I tried the mommy and me workouts and she would cry and I was embarrassed. And it's like, and so then I got really stuck on my schedule and like probably a little bit of OCD too.
Oh yeah. Mine definitely is. I was like, she's 2 minutes late for her nap.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to sleep tonight.
She ate a cracker before dinner. And now she's not going to eat her meal. Yeah, with my third, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. I feel like as she's gotten older, I'm like, you want the sucker for breakfast? Be my guest.
You're like,
if you're not going to yell at me, then sure.
It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
I wish that they had that. So I think it's just a great commodity for Chattanooga.
Thank you.
And I've seen some like other little ones starting and popping up, which I think is great because I think, I tried some of the mommy and me workout stuff and it wasn't for me, but I know it worked for other people. Yes. And so maybe, people that want a different area or like can't drive there or it's further out.
Yes.
I think that will help inspire other moms to do the same.
Yeah. So. I'm what is it? There's like a saying. It's like something not competition. There's like more. The more the merrier. If I'm not your cup of tea, I want you to find your community of moms that's going to help get you out of the house and, you know, make friends and do the fun things. That's one of my favorite things is seeing on Instagram. I'll be scrolling my feed and I'm like, oh, I know they met.
They connected.
They met at Mom Chats. But if that doesn't happen at Mom Chats, I want you to go to, you know, Fit for Mom or whatever, or do all of it. Get out of the house multiple days a week.
Yeah, find your community and find your people, because without that, it's hard. It's very hard. It's very lonely.
Yes, it is. And you just, you know, you can only talk so much to a baby and as a mom, you understand so much, even more so than, you know, a dad would. It's just a very different hormonally, like how you feel, the OCD, the rage, all of that is hard to explain. So to be sitting next to a mom that's like, hey, I've been there, is so important.
Yeah, and moms in different stages, different numbers of kids, some that work, some don't. Yeah, it's cool. And I mean, you're not gonna, in life, you're not friends with everybody that you meet. Yeah. I mean, that's just normal. I feel like it'd be weird if you were. Yes. And so, people are going to find their community, but to find one and just stick with it.
Because it's so important.
Even moving here and people who are moving here, there's a lot of people moving here, new moms, and so they've got to find their people. So I think it's a great resource.
I love it.
So where can we find you?
On Instagram, I post all of our information on there. It's at Mom Chats, CHATTS.
Okay.
I post a couple times a month with all of the information. I just started a newsletter that you can sign up for on our Instagram. So if you don't do social media, I've had a lot of moms step off. I started that so they could still find out where we're going to be in Chattanooga next month.
It'd be the dream to step off social media for a little bit.
I know. I think about it and I'm like, but I can't.
I know. I didn't used to be big. I don't love it, honestly. It's like my least favorite part of having a business is that side, but it's important. But yeah, if I had the option to be off, I'd. Do you run into any issues, or do you have to have people sign off to like feature their faces, their kids, and the moms in it? Do you have people sign like a waiver, or how does that work?
When people register for my events, everyone has to register before they come, and it has a liability waiver. So if someone gets hurt or anything, it's on there. And then there's a photo release, but I'm really lenient on that. I have a lot of friends and just moms that attend regularly that don't post their children online. I just tell people to pull me aside before they leave, and I'll make sure their kids aren't featured, because I completely get, not wanting their faces on there. So it's on there, but it's lenient. Yeah,
cool. And do you do that through how do you do your invites?
Luma, which is like an event planning site. It's super easy. I've gone through I think 4 different platforms now. This is the easiest one I found.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious because I've been using different ones, and I'm like, I'll switch, and then I'm happy with it for a little bit, and then I'm switching, and then I'll have to check it out. Luma.
Yeah, I was doing Eventbrite, and it was taking me like 45 minutes to create an event every time and import my waiver, and now I can make all of my events for a month in like 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
Streamlined, and it's an app, so I can keep track of who's coming, and people can say that they're not coming anymore, and it's really nice. I'll show it to you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, do you have any questions for me? I think that's all I got.
Gosh, how do you do it all?
No, I don't. I do not.
You're so amazing. I just love watching you on social media. I feel you wear all the hats and just perform great. So
thank you. No, I don't do it all. I do not do it all. I mean, my husband is really, really supportive. We work together, and you haven't met him yet. He's out doing yoga on the roof over there. But he's very supportive, and he's like my, I'd say, mentor through business, because he's been doing construction and flipping houses and all that since before I even met him. He's built his way in that side. So he's really my mentor, and he's just really supportive, and we kind of pick up where the other one lacks. If one of us has a really busy work week, we can kind of pick up where the other one needs help. And so he's really supportive. I have, my kids go to school, so they go 8 to 3. So that's been really helpful. I interviewed every daycare in the area, every Mother's Day out, every school, I looked at them all just to kind of figure out what worked best for us. And then I have a household manager that I started using a few years ago. Oh my God, she's my saving grace. I've gone through 3 different people in this role. 2 of them moved, so I just kind of had to rehire. But she comes 2 to 3 days a week, and she does half household stuff and then half time with my kids, because sometimes I have afternoon appointments, and so I'll drop them off with her, and then when they're not there, she focuses on the house. So she's there sometimes when they're not there and can help with their laundry and dishes, and she makes their lunches and meal prep, and she'll run kind of random errands for us. So that's huge, because it's we don't have any family here, and so it's been really some trial and error of figuring out different childcare options and then figuring out, what support we need because we don't have that family support. And so really just hiring the right people.
Yeah.
We've downsized our businesses. We've grown significantly in COVID when the interest rates were amazing and buying and selling was way, going faster than it is now. Now, it's a little bit slower and the market's more of a buyer's market right now. But during that peak time, we really had grown and expanded, and we've kind of downsized again just with the changing market. And so I used to have someone helping with paperwork, and I still have a sign runner and they'll pick up checks and stuff. So it's really about the support. I feel like the community that I have.
Your village.
Yeah, definitely having a village. And then, the moms in business side, I've really connected with local business owners, and we kind of bounce ideas and support off of each other because their kids are similar ages, but their businesses are similar ages to mine too. My business is 3 years old, and so I haven't made it to the 5-year mark yet, but I'm hoping I'll get there. And then a lot of them are similar, 2 to 10 years of business experience. So it's helpful having that to rely on them and kind of just discuss, hey, my kids are doing this, or your kid's doing this, or hey, my business, how do you do your events, or how do you do your invites or social media, things like that. So we're able to bounce ideas off each other, but I definitely don't do it all, even if it looks that way. I feel like social media can kind of portray you in that light, but definitely a good support system.
That's awesome.
A lot of help. So.
Yeah, I love some of your moms and your moms in business group.
They
have been past sponsors for me, and they're all incredible.
Yeah, it's just
sorry.
No, I'm sure you were going to say the same thing. It's literally just women lifting other women up.
It's the best thing.
Yeah.
Just girlhood. I love to be around other women who are supportive and going to lift you up and
not tear you down, because we're all dealing with the same stuff on a day-to-day, dealing with the tantrums. Yes, taking care of people and keeping them alive, and then, running a business or planning events, and it's a lot. So having that community and those events that I host, it's nice to just almost vent a little bit occasionally, and I'm sure that's how you feel too with these events.
We do lots of venting too.
Yes.
What is going on?
Because sometimes I want to vent to my husband and he wants to solve the problem, and I'm like, I just want to complain here. I want you to just be like, man, that sucks. I don't need a solution. I just want to,
match the energy.
Yeah.
If it sucks for you too, let me hear about it.
Yeah, right.
Let's talk
He does not have that mindset. He's very positive, and so he'll try to solve it, which is great. It's a great match for me for sure. And like I said, he's super supportive, but sometimes I'm like, man, I just want him to be like, oh yeah, that's terrible.
Yes, it is.
Just need to get it out in the open and then
just text
move on.
Me, I'll do that for you.
Yeah, perfect. Well, anything else? Any other comments? I think I asked you all my questions.
I have one more question. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite way to unwind and be with your kids after doing your job and all of the other things in life?
My favorite thing, so I really struggled. I'd go to work and then I'd get my kids, and then it was this really difficult transition for me and them, especially when my younger daughter, she's had very intense tantrums. So I felt like we were getting home and it was meltdown city. They're tired and hungry. I'm also just kind of worn out, but switching from focusing on clients and adults to switching gears to now focusing on the kids. And so I really struggled with that. So someone told me that for the first 30 minutes to an hour, instead of trying to get to cooking and dishes and getting the stuff put away, just get everybody and do something together. So now when I pick them up, if it's nice out, we go to the park. That's my favorite thing, or just something outside. We'll walk in our neighborhood. If it's cold or bad weather, we'll sometimes go to get hot chocolate or something, or we'll go just do something play a board game inside or read together. So that's helped. It's nothing huge, but it's
huge for them though.
Totally.
It's the little things for kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just connection for both of us.
Yeah.
We need it just as much as they do. So it's fun to unwind with them too.
Yeah. It helped with that transition time, because another friend told me she works her 9 to 5 and then she has her 5 to 9 with her kids. And so it is I thought it was kind of difficult getting to that, because you want to get everything done when you get home and you want to get them ready for bed. And It's a lot, but just having that time to focus on them, because that's all they want. They just want my attention, because I haven't seen them all day.
Yeah.
So even though the car ride home, sometimes I'm like, what just happened?
But
yeah, I'm like, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen, and we're going to do something else together, and then I can not feel so guilty about like, hey, I've got to cook dinner real quick. Adding my third into that has been kind of chaotic, but he's learning to roll with it.
I feel like the youngest one always is like, whatever.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's starting to stand up for himself a little bit, because my middle daughter wants to smother him. Like, she just wants to dress him, and she like was holding a onesie up to him the other day, and like a mannequin, like trying to dress him, and he's like pushing her away.
I'm not your Barbie doll.
Yeah, he's like, enough. Go get your doll. But yeah, he's learning to stand up for himself. But also, he kind of has to roll with it because he's third kid.
Yes, I know. I feel like my daughter would like huff, and I would pick her up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, you gave us where we can find you. Do you have a website?
I don't. That's on my to-do.
Okay.
Yes, I've got to figure that out.
It's a big to-do. I've redone mine. I even want to redo it again, and I'm like, it's the back burner.
Yeah. I looked into it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need like a while to look into this.
Do you have an email that people can reach you at if they don't have social media?
It's momchats@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on. It was great having you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, great.